Hello everyone, I am Ashwini Saurabh Mehtaras from Department of Statistics, RBNB College, Srijampur. Today I am going to teach geometric mean, which is the type of average. So we have already learned the type of average, mean, median, mode. So these are the type of average and now we are going to see the geometric mean. There are some situations where the geometric mean is appropriate. So I have written some use of geometric mean. So it is used to measure the average change in percent, to measure average of bank interest rate, to measure average of depreciation in the cost of a certain machine, then to measure average of population growth, and to measure average of returns on share. So basically geometric mean is appropriate when there are changes in ratio or percentage. So changes are measured in ratios or percentage. So there are some situations which demands geometric mean. Due to its properties, geometric mean is also used for index numbers. So let's see. Let's take one example. Suppose it is given that in 1992 the price change is 100% and in 1993 the price change is reduced by 50%. So in this case, suppose we are asked to obtain the average change in price. Then if we use the arithmetic mean here, then we will get, so we know the definition for arithmetic mean, that we are going to add these two terms, divide by 2. So we will get 50 upon 2, which is 25. So arithmetic mean tells us that there is average change in price by 22. But if we look the actual data, then we can see that if we suppose that in 1991, suppose the price of a commodity was A, then in 1992 it is increased by 100%. So we have to write here 2A. Then in 1993 the price is reduced by 50%. So it is reduced by half. So we should write here 2A upon 2, so which is A. So if we look at this data, then we can see that in the span of these 2 years, the actual price of the commodity is retained in the 1993. So average change in price seems to be 0. But our arithmetic mean gives us the change which is 25. So this will not be appropriate, and this case demands the use of geometric mean. There is a term which is growth rate. It is denoted by, let's denote it by Y. So it is given by current year price divided by previous year price. So for this same example, we will calculate Y. So Y will be 2A upon A, which is 2, and A upon 2A means 1/2. So here is the growth rate. And now we can calculate average of Y. Here I am using the formula for geometric mean. So average of Y, that can be calculated by 2 into half, under root 2 into half, and it will be 1. We will see the definition of geometric mean. So here I have used a geometric mean to calculate average of Y. Then average change in X. Here we have supposed that X is the change in price. So average change in X that can be calculated by the formula average change in Y minus 1 into 100. So this is the formula to calculate average change in a X. So now I am substituting the values. So 1 minus 1 into 100. So this is now the correct answer, that is average change in a price is 0, because we can easily see that for the given data there is no change in price. It is doubled in next year, and in the next year it is reduced by half. So actual price is retained. So here average, there is no average change, it is 0, and geometric mean gives us the correct answer. So this is the one example. Now let's see the definition of geometric mean. Geometric mean is denoted by capital GM. So GM is the nth root of product of n observations. Suppose there are n observations which are denoted by x1, x2, so on xn. Then we can calculate geometric mean of X with this formula. So this is product of n observations. So x1 into x2 into x3 into xn, and we have to take its nth root. So we can write raised to 1 upon n. So here we can write product. This is the sign of product which is running from I equal to 1 to n of xi and bracket raised to 1 upon n. So this is the formula to calculate geometric mean, which we have used in a previous example. So now we can write log of geometric mean of xi for simplification. So this will be 1 upon n into log of this term, so log of product of xi, and we know that log of product means summation of the log terms. And now we can calculate geometric mean by taking antilog on both sides. So antilog of 1 upon n into summation of xi. So this is the actual formula to calculate geometric mean, which is most of the times this formula is used. Suppose we are given the observations like this. So xi and the corresponding frequencies fi, I running from 1 to n. So there are n observations x1, x2 dot xn, and we have their corresponding frequencies f1, f2, so on fn. Then in that case, how to calculate geometric mean? So by the definition, geometric mean of x, this can be calculated by product of xi, fi, bracket raised to 1 upon n. So we can calculate by the formula antilog of 1 upon capital N. This capital N means summation of fi, summation of fi into log of xi. So this is the formula to calculate geometric mean when we are given the discrete frequency distribution, that is in the form of group. Let's see one example. Here the observations are given xi which are 2, 8, 20, 62 and 54. Then we are asked to obtain the geometric mean of x. Then by definition of geometric mean we have to calculate first the log terms. So log of xi I have calculated here, and this is the summation of log terms. Then I have used the formula for geometric mean, so which is anti-log of summation of log of xi divided by n. So there are 5 observations, so I have taken here 5. So we get the answer 16.06. So this is the geometric mean for the given observations. Suppose the given observations are in progression, that is geometric progression. Suppose the observations are like this. So A into AR, comma AR square, AR cube, and so on, AR raised to n minus 1. Suppose these are the observations and we are asked to obtain geometric mean of these type of series of observations. Then we can use the formula for geometric mean, that is we have to take product of all these terms and raised to nth root, means there are n observations, so we have taken bracket raised to 1 upon n. So a raised to n will be there and r raised to, so here we can add the numerator, so 1 plus 2 plus so on. We know this for the summation of n numbers, so bracket raised to 1 upon n. Now it will be a into r raised to n minus 1 upon 2. So we can calculate if the data is in the geometric progression. So this is geometric mean for these observations. Let's see some merits and demerits of geometric mean. First, so it is rigidly defined. Geometric mean has a formula, that is it is the nth root of product of observations, so it is a rigidly defined. Then it is not unduly affected by the extreme observations. Then it is capable of further mathematical calculations. Means we can calculate combined geometric mean. So we have written it is capable of further algebraic treatment or mathematical calculations, and merit is it is based on all observations. So all observations we are taking the product, so it is based on all observations. So these are some merits of geometric mean. Now we will see the demerits. There are some demerits, and the serious drawback of geometric mean is if one of the observation is 0, then the geometric mean will be 0. So in that case, geometric mean cannot be calculated. So this is the serious drawback for geometric mean. Then the next drawback is it is not calculated for open-end classes. Then it cannot be shown graphically. And if any observation in the data is negative, then geometric mean will be imaginary number. So this is the drawback, or we can say that demerit. It will be imaginary number because we are taking the nth root. So in that case, if any observation is negative, then we cannot calculate geometric number. So these are some demerits of geometric mean. One thing here we should know that the drawback or demerit can be geometric mean is obviously not easy to understand and it is not simple to calculate as that of the other type of averages. So let's see one example. So geometric mean of x upon y is geometric mean of x divided by geometric mean of y. So this is the property and we are going to prove this property. Suppose we are given the set of observations, so x1, x2, xn and y1, y2, yn. Then geometric mean, let's take this side. So geometric mean of x upon y, this can be written by definition. This is xi upon yi raised to 1 upon n. Further, we can write x1, x2 product of the terms raised to 1 upon n, and we can separate this term. So in the denominator, y1 into y2 into yn raised to 1 upon n. So here, by the definition of geometric mean, we can write this is product of xi raised to 1 upon n and it is product of yi raised to 1 upon n. So product is running for I equal to 1 to n in both cases, and here it will be geometric mean of x and it is geometric mean of y. So here we have proved this property. This property is only proved for a geometric mean. It is not proved for arithmetic mean. That is, we cannot write in this way. So arithmetic mean for x upon y, this is not equal to arithmetic mean of x and arithmetic mean for y. So this property is only for geometric mean case. So there are some cases where geometric mean is appropriate for the data. So we have seen its formula one example, its merits and demerits. Now there are some situations where the geometric mean or arithmetic mean or other type of average cannot be used. There we have to see the next type of average, which is harmonic mean. Let's take one example to see. So suppose we are given that a train is traveling and it has a speed of 10 km per hour for the first kilometer, and it has 15 km per hour for the next kilometer, means the second kilometer. So for next kilometer, which is 1 kilometer, and we are asked to obtain the average for this data. So average speed of train can be, so by using arithmetic mean we can write 10 plus 15 upon 2, so it will be 12.5. This is kilometer per hour. So this is given from the arithmetic mean, but we can calculate the speed of train by the formula. We know this formula. So speed equals to distance, that is total distance traveled divided by total time taken in hour. So we know this formula, and by using this formula, what will be the average? So this speed can be calculated by distance upon time. Here the total distance traveled is 1 plus 1, so 2, and total time taken, so we can calculate it as 1 upon 10 plus 1 upon 15. So this is calculated by using the formula, that is speed equals to distance upon time. So in this way we get the answer, that is speed equals to 12 km per hour. So this is not equal to the arithmetic mean, which we have calculated as 12.5 km per hour. So these are some situations where we cannot use the other type of average and we have to use the harmonic mean. In the next lecture, we will see some examples of harmonic mean and its merits, demerits. So hope you enjoyed this lecture. Thanks for watching me.